Hello, this video is for IXL activity A1.D.9. It is titled Multi-Step Problems with Percents. The 3-character code for this activity is Hotel Bravo Juliet. So it says that Franklin and his family ordered a meal that cost $100. Franklin paid 4% sales tax and left an 18% tip on $100. What was the total cost? So, as the title says, this is going to take multiple steps in order to do these problems. So let's look and see what we're going to need to figure this problem out. So Franklin and his family ordered a meal that cost $100. So we're going to have the cost of the meal, right? So we need the cost of the meal, plus he pays a sales tax. So plus we're going to pay the sales tax. And on top of that, he also leaves an 18% tip. So we're going to have plus the tip. And all of this will give us the total cost. There we go. So what is the cost? Well, the cost is $100 plus the sales tax. We're going to figure the sales tax by multiplying what? It's 4% of 100. So 4% as a decimal is going to be 0.04. We're going to have to multiply that times 100. And then we're going to add to that the tip. And the tip in this case is 18% of 100. So 18% as a decimal is going to be 0.18. And we're going to multiply that times 100 as well. 18% of 100. Remember, the word of means to multiply. And so we do all this, and then we would, once again, get the total, which is what they're asking. What was the total cost? So let's go ahead and work this out. So I've got 100 plus, and then 4% of 100 is going to be what? $4, right? You check that on your calculator. That's, since it's 100, I can mental math this one pretty easily. And then I'm going to add to that 18% of 100, which is going to be 18. So whenever I add all these together, I'm going to end up with 100 plus 4 is 104. Plus the 18, and that's going to give me 118 plus 4 is going to be 22. So the total cost is $122. So multi-steps, right? This one here, we added the cost, plus the sales tax, plus the tip, figure all those things out, and then go ahead and add them all together, and we get the final cost. Let's look at our next question. Denise treated her sister to lunch while visiting her in Middletown. Their lunch cost $3.80. Wow, that's a pretty cheap lunch. And the sales tax in Middletown is 15%. If Denise left a 20% tip on the $3.80, how much in total did she pay? So let's go ahead and add together the cost of the meal. Plus, we're going to go ahead and do the tax on it. And we're also going to add to that the tip. And all of this, once again, will give us the total. So the cost here is $3.80. So I'm just going to put this as 3.8, right? Plus the tax in this case. The tax is 15%, so that's 0.15 as a decimal, times, and the 3.8 here. Then we're going to add the tip. In this case, the tip is 20% of $3.80. So 20%, remember, move that decimal over 2 places to get a decimal. So 0.2 times the $3.80. And I drop that 0 off once again. So I'm at 3.8 plus, now here's where I'm going to grab my calculator at here. I'm going to calculate 0.15. I'm going to multiply that times the 3.8, and that's going to give me 57 cents. Right? 0.57. Now I need to add that to the tip here, right? 20% is 0.02 of $3.80, so times 0.38. So 0.2 times 3.8 is going to give me 76 cents, 0.76. Now I need to add all of this together, and I'm going to get 3.8 plus 0.57 plus 0.76. So she got out of there at a whole whopping $5.13. Okay, it's a pretty cheap meal. I don't know where she's eating at, but I'd like to find that restaurant. So $5.13 is her total. So let's go ahead and look at the next question. The store bought a toy rocket at a cost of $46.29 and marked it up to 30%. Then Percy bought it and paid 10.25% sales tax. What was his total cost? Well, first we have to find out what the cost of this is with the 30% markup. Now, in another activity, we learned that whenever we mark something up, we don't do it by 30%. We actually have to do it by 100% plus the percentage that we're marking it up. So in this case, we would be marking it up 130% is the percentage that we need to multiply the original cost by to find the new value that the store is going to sell it for. So if we put 130% as a decimal is 1.3. So we're going to take 46.29 and we're going to multiply that times 1.3. This is going to give us the cost that the store is now going to charge for this item. So we do 46.29 and we multiply that by 1.3. We now get a value of $60.177. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave the 7 here that's in the thousands place. I'm going to go ahead and leave that because that might affect our calculation later on. I will then go ahead and round it to the nearest cent as I approach the end of the problem. So this is the cost of what they're selling it for now, $60.177 here. Okay. Now Percy buys it and he pays 10.25% sales tax. So we need 10.25% of the 60.177. So if we do 10.25%, we write this as a decimal. Let's move this over 2 places here. And we would end up with 0.1025 times 60.177. So if we do the 60.177, multiply that times 0.1025, we would end up with sales tax of, that's an equal sign there, sales tax of 6.16811425. So I've got this number sitting on my calculator here. Now I need to add this back to the cost, right? What was this total cost? I need to add that back together there. So I'm going to do this number plus this number here. So I'm adding these two values together because this is the markup right here. So this is the price that they're selling it for. Then he's paying tax on that amount. 10.25% is a decimal is 0.125. Multiply that times what he's buying it for. It gives me this number here. Then I had to add that back to the 60.177. And hopefully now you're seeing why I left the 7 on there, because it's probably going to affect these decimals down here as well. So I've got the 6.1681425 in my calculator. So now I'm going to go ahead and put plus the 60.177 and hit enter, and I'm going to get a total of 66.345, and I can probably stop there because they want me around to the nearest cent, which is here. So looking to the right, I have a 5 or more, raise the score, so the 4 becomes a 5, so 66.35. So $66.35. A store originally purchased a swing set at a cost of $212.67 and marked it up 130%. After a few weeks, however, the store discounted the swing set 55% in order to make room for new merchandise. What was the discounted price? Well, before we can do this 55% discount, we have to figure out what did they raise the price to originally. So they're raising it 130%. Remember, we need to add that to 100%. Because if it was just 100% as a decimal would be 1, and if we did 212.67 times 1, we'd still have that same value. Well, the value is going up 130%, so this gives us our base value, and this marks the amount of increase. So in this case, it's going to be 230%. Is it decimal? This equals 2.3. So this is the decimal that we're going to use to multiply the 212.67 by. So 212.67 times 2.3. This is going to give us the price that they originally set it at. So 212.67 times, well, that's a plus sign, times 2.3 is going to give me $489.141. And again, I'm going to leave this 1 in the thousandths place because it might affect my calculations later on. I will round to the nearest cent whenever I get finished. So now the price is $489.141. But then they decide to discount it 55%. So they're going to take away 55%. So let's think of the amount that they're keeping on it then. Well, 100 minus 55 equals 45. So we need 45%. And that is a decimal. It's going to be 0.45. So we want to know 0.45 times this number here. 0.45. I've already got this value in my calculator, so I'm just going to go ahead and put times 0.45, and that's going to give me a value of 220.11345. Now round it to the nearest cent, which is here at the hundredths place. Look to the right, 4 or less, let it rest, so the 1's going to remain a 1. So I'm at 220.11. So he ends up paying $220.11. That is the discounted price. A fancy watch was originally priced for $909.83, but Colette waited to buy it until the fancy watch was on sale for 55% off. She paid 10% sales tax on the sale price. How much did she pay in total? So before we can figure out the 10% sales tax, we need to determine what she was paying for the watch. So in this case, they're taking 55% off. So again, let's think about how much are we keeping. So 100 minus 55 is 45. So we're going to actually get 45% of the original cost. And as a decimal, that's 0.45. So we need to take the 909.83, and we're going to multiply that times, and I'm going to go ahead and start using parentheses instead. Let's go ahead and multiply that times 0.45. And this is going to give me the discounted price of the watch. So 909.83 times 0.45 gives me a product of 409.4235. Again, I'm going to keep all these, even though we're talking about money, I'm going to keep all these values here because they might eventually affect the final answer. At the end, I will round to the nearest cent. So now she pays 10% sales tax on the sale price. So the sale price is the 409.4235. Now she's going to pay 10% sales tax. So we need to find out 10% is 0.1. So we need to find out what the sales tax is. So I have that number already in my calculator. So I'll put times 0.1. And that's going to give me 40.94235. Now this is the sales tax right here. Sales tax. And that's not a very good looking X, is it? We'll try that again. So this is the sales tax. This is the amount she was paying for it. This is what the price, right? This is the price of what it is. We need to know how much did she pay in total. So we're going to have to add together the price and the sales tax. Well, I've already got the sales tax in my calculator. So I'm going to put plus the price. So plus 409.4235. Hit enter, and I end up with 450.365, and I'm going to stop there because I need to round to the nearest cent, right? So look to the right, 5 or more raise the score, so the 6 becomes a 7. That's going to be $450.37. 450.37. Not bad for a watch that was over $900 you got for less than $500. Final question. A store in Stafford bought a silver coat rack for $361.98 and marked it up 60% from the original cost. Later on, Valeria purchased the silver coat rack and paid Stafford sales tax of 4%. How much, including tax, does she pay for the silver coat rack? So before we can do her 4% sales tax, we first have to figure out what was the store selling it for. They marked it up 6%. So remember, if we're going to do a markup, we actually have to add that percentage to 100. So 100 plus 60 is 160%. And as a decimal, that's going to be 1.6. So this is what we're going to use to multiply the 361.98 by. So they paid $361.98. And then we're going to multiply that by 160% or 1.6. This is going to give us the price that they're now selling it for after the markup. So 361.98. We're going to multiply that times 1.6. And that's going to give us $579.168. Again, I'm going to leave this 8 on here. Instead of rounding, I will do my rounding to the nearest cent at the end. So this is what she's paying for it. This is the price that she pays. She pays this. So now she also pays tax on it. So it's 4%. 4% as a decimal is going to be 0.04, moving the decimal over 2 places. Right, throw a 0 on there. So we need to take that 579.168, multiply that times 0.04, that is the sales tax, and this will tell us what the sales tax is on it. So I already had the 579.168 in my calculator, so I'm going to just put times 0.04, and that's going to give me an answer of 23.16672. I'm going to leave all this on here. All these decimals I'm going to leave on here because it might make a difference. So this is the tax. Now they want to know, what did she pay, how much, including the tax did she pay. So I need to add these two values, this value and this value, I need to add together. I've already got the 23.16672 in my calculator, so I'm just going to put plus the 579.168. That's going to give me a total of 602.334, and I can stop there because I just need to round to this point. So look to the right, 4 less, let it rest, so that 3 is going to remain a 3, so it's going to be 602.33, and that is my answer, 602.33, $602.33. All right, so those are all of my examples for IXL Activity A1.D.9 multi-step problems with percents. Good luck with your activity.